Good evening, everyone. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like a net thrown into the sea, which collects fish of every kind. When it is full, they haul it ashore and sit down to put what is good into buckets. What is bad they throw away. Thus it will be at the end of the age. The angels will go out and separate the wicked from the righteous and throw them into the fiery furnace, where there will be wailing and grinding of teeth. Matthew 13:47-50. This parable is the third of three parables Jesus tells in a row. The first compares the kingdom of heaven to a treasure buried in a field. When a person finds it, they sell everything they have so as to buy that field. The second parable likens the kingdom of heaven to a merchant who is in search of fine pearls. When he finds a pearl of great price, he goes and sells all that he has and buys it. In both of these parables, the discovery of the kingdom of heaven is a great joy. The person discovering the treasure or the pearl is so elated that he is willing to trade all that he has so as to obtain it. The third of these three parables, however, is much different. In this case, the kingdom of heaven is likened to a net that gathers all people at the end of the age and separates them, the good from the bad. The parable then concludes with a frightening image. The wicked will be thrown into the fiery furnace, where there will be wailing and grinding of teeth. In the end, for those who enter the glories of heaven, there will be unending joy. And this fact must be understood so as to draw us into those riches of grace. Anticipation of such a gift should motivate us to diligently seek out the many graces our Lord wishes to bestow upon us. But somehow we need a bit more of a nudge. We can easily become complacent in our life of faith and our search for God's will. For that reason, Jesus includes the third parable, outlining the consequences some will endure at the end of time. Though it might not be a happy thought, it is a holy thought, because it reveals God's definitive justice and judgment at the end of time. Do you believe in the justice of God? Do you believe that He will exact definitive judgment upon those who reject His holy will in this life? Do you believe that the hell is real and is a possibility for us all? If this thought is difficult to accept, then it might be worth further prayerfully pondering this third parable. Justice and judgment are real. If we are not fully motivated in life to diligently seek out the glory of the kingdom of heaven, then we should at least honestly face the reality of the consequences that await. Reflect today upon the glory, beauty, and splendor of God. Try to put your eyes of faith upon the treasure of the kingdom of heaven. Allow this prayerful meditation to inspire you to make obtaining the kingdom of heaven your sole mission in life. But if you struggle with this joyous discovery, then do not hesitate to reflect upon the potential consequences. The Lord speaks of these consequences of God's justice and judgment for our good, so as to keep them from becoming our reality. And God bless you.
Possessing the treasure beyond price. As we reflect on this 7th Sunday in ordinary time, brothers and sisters, it's very, very powerful parable of the person of Jesus being compared as a treasure buried at the same time the pearl of great price. We all of us would always remember how the Lord invites us to look, to search, to discover the treasure for which we aim for, the treasure which we dream for, the treasure which will always give meaning, significance, and directions in our lives. The parable of the very treasure and the pearl of great price is always an invitation for us, brothers and sisters, that if we happen to discover, we happen to see that the very treasure and the pearl of great price is within our reach, is within our discovery. We have to be always cognizant the need to give up many things in us just to have it, just to secure it, and just not to let it go in our beings, in our person. Now there are many things which should hinder us, brothers and sisters, to make Jesus as the center of our lives. That's only a question of egoism, pride, that instead of the Lord being the center of our lives, ourselves become the center. Ourselves occupy a big place in the whole aspect of discipleship, of following the Lord. So much so that we think that by our own plans, our own ambitions, our own whims, and our own caprices, we could do things without the help of the Lord. With the Lord just taking not the center stage, but just in the peripheral aspect of our effort or our struggle. There's also what we call the treasure of attraction, power, money, pleasure, status. For us, these things are of great value, are of great price, so much so that when we put the Lord in the level, they take precedence, they take at the center stage, and they become our mammon, they become our idol. Now obviously, many people are drawn to them for they satisfy human cravings. They satisfy physical, material cravings for more or greatness. At the same time, satisfying our hunger and need for material possessions, honor, money, riches, and many more, brothers and sisters. In the Sermon of the Mount, brothers and sisters, the Lord is telling us, or to His disciples, do not store up ourselves treasure on earth where moth and decay destroy and thieves break in and steal, but store up treasures in heaven. Where neither moth or decay destroys, nor thieves break in. For where your treasure is, there also will your heart be. As we reflect, brothers and sisters, these two very beautiful parables, we realize that Jesus invites us to build the kingdom, searching relentlessly and seeking His presence. The reward will be something precious and which cannot be lost at any time. We are called to face obstacles as we are called to be innovative in the ways in which we overcome those challenges. King Solomon, in our study, we realize that being a good king, at one point in his life, he was asked the Lord, what particular reward that Solomon wanted them that will be given by the Lord. Instead of wealth, instead of treasure, instead of long life, or the defeat of his enemies, Solomon singled out the wisdom to know what is right and wrong, the wisdom to become a good leader, and the wisdom to serve the Lord relentlessly. So, brothers and sisters, as we try to reflect a very, very beautiful parable of the treasure buried and the pearl of great price, let us see and remember how do we look at the Lord and how, when we discover the Lord in our lives, we give up many things. We embrace as persons who might be not that rich, who might not be that equipped by many things in life, but nonetheless, and more importantly, persons who have been graced by the Lord, persons who experience the love, the warmth, at the same time, the support of the Lord in our lives, putting the Lord as the greatest, the most precious, the most beautiful treasures we could ever imagine. A pleasant Sunday, brothers